my other people. Go and wash your ear, wash your eyes, look for that thing that is so special to you, and sit very tight and watch this video to the very end of it. Because when the on the case we require, ọ bụzi otu esi wee kwuo ya ka o si emezi a na-agwọ ọ na-ere, a na-agwọ ọ na-ere, omewo ya ihe ọcha na-emewo ya o, aka na-eme emewo ya o, omewore n'oge ya. Yes, as you're about to watch this video, my wonderful listeners, just keep on your dancing shoe, because you're going to dance well, because that hidden agenda that have been hidden for us, God have exposed them. The release of Nnamdi Kanu is live and direct. No Jupiter, no dispute. Nobody can cross agenda. Anybody who try to do otherwise, God will strike him to death. If they try to play the game that they played from the head of Ademola, who declared Nnamdi Kanu, that Justice Ademola, who declared Nnamdi Kanu free and acquitted during the last time, during the, was it 2015 or 2017? So yes, my people, if anybody try to do otherwise on this time, God in heaven will tag that person to death, life and direct. My people, it don't happen. Just listen attentively for what you're about to watch, because our barrister Jimako have dig out the evil agenda wey Nigeria government don plant it. And now, my people, the release of Nnamdi Kanu is a done deal. Is it this not a thing of celebration? Go and look for that special one wey keep somewhere, because my people will go dance all the old streets. Yes, the heaven will rejoice, because this is the time that every Nigerians, every web Biafrans have been waiting for. Now, my people, on this 13th, it's going to happen. No be cho, my wonderful listeners. Just watch this video. Just watch it.
It is divided into 3 parts and several sub-parts, which will be discussed under an introduction, an analysis, and an executive summary. Now to the introduction. Nnamdi Kanu's case began in earnest on October 14, 2015, when he was arrested on his arrival in Lagos from his location in the UK. The reason for this arrest, as it was alleged at the time, was due to broadcast he made from his location in the UK, comprising basically of his demand for the restoration of Biafra. He was then charged with treasonable felonies and other minor offenses, but later in time, Nnamdi Kanu was granted bail twice by 2 different courts, but the government of Nigeria disobeyed or otherwise unlawfully parried the court orders, and he remained not obeyed. However, much later, in April 2017, Nnamdi Kanu was eventually released on bail. Such was the case that on 16 December 2016, when the federal government withdrew all the charges filed against Nnamdi Kanu before the Chief Magistrate Court in Abuja, leading to the charges being dismissed also, and Nnamdi Kanu being thereby discharged. It will be recalled that these charges also were at that time dismissed. But the federal government doubled back and charged him back before the Federal High Court at this time. Beyond continuing to detain Nnamdi Kanu in disobedience of court order at that time, to the contrary, the federal government also did the unthinkable by arresting Justice Ademola, who had ordered unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu at that time. According to several newspaper reports of 15th October 2016, Justice Ademola had stated, and I quote, "From the time of my arrival at the DSS office at about 6:45 p.m. on 8/10/2016, I was not told what my crime was for over 24 hours. the evening of 9/10/2016, a DSS officer officially finally informed me that the search of my arrest, that the reason for my arrest was based on these three allegations. One, petition of Hon Jenkins Duvier, dated 4th of April 2016 to the National Judicial Council. And two, granting bail on Sambo Dasuki. And three, the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This was perhaps one of the earliest telltale signs that Mazi Kanu was in for a rough ride with the darkest side of the Nigerian criminal justice system. Consequent upon his grant of bail in April 2017, he proceeded to his ancestral home in Afaruku, Ibek, Umuahia in Abia State. For someone enjoying his bail and awaiting his next court date, it therefore came as a surprise, deadly surprise indeed, that beginning from 10 September to 14 September, the Nigerian Army and other security agencies launched lethal military invasion of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's ancestral home, where he was staying with his members of his family and well-wishers. It was indeed a deadly assault that claimed at least 28 innocent lives. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his parents, who were on location, sustained injuries, and his parents later succumbed to those injuries, and they are now deceased. Well, it is there, as they say, the rest is history, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in order to save his life, had to depart the territory of Nigeria in search of a safe haven overseas. You will also recall that sequel to this attack, Nigerian Army did not let off. They announced a nationwide manhunt of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the immediate aftermath of that invasion, infamous invasion, Nigerian government promptly commenced a constitutionally questionable administrative action to proscribe IPOB and declare it a terrorist group. This decision was preceded by the infamous public declaration made by the Southeast governors on 17 September 2017. And accordingly, following these public declarations by our government officials on 28 September 2017, late Justice Kafrati of the Federal High Court granted the federal government her wish in an ex parte application brought before the justice by the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN. Apparently, in taking the decision to proscribe IPOB and declare it a terrorist group, neither the Southeast governors who fired the first salvo nor the federal government had recourse to Section 42 of the Nigerian Constitution, which is a fundamental right, a section guaranteeing the fundamental right of every Nigerian against discrimination based on ethnicity. I'm saying this because later in time this matter went to court, and the High Court of Enugu State, in a landmark ruling, pronounced the executive action or administrative action leading to that prescription as violative of Section 42 of the Constitution based on some ethnic considerations against the Igbo. Thus, by the plain provisions of that section, members of IPOB who largely hail from the Igbo tribe were generally criminalized. So to be clear, the practical application of any law enforced in Nigeria, including the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act, or any criminal justice statute or legislation, has to be applied even-handedly across the board to all Nigerians without discrimination of any sort. But in this very instance, IPOB, having been perceived as springing from the Igbo and their cousins in the southeastern part of Nigeria, was singled out for the special act of discriminatory proscription and declaring it a terrorist group. Of course, this gave the federal government the legal license to direct its armed forces to resort to the rules of engagement, which required it to shoot to kill, not even shoot to maim anybody perceived to be a member of IPOB, and this has continued to this day. And of course, that was what culminated in the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria in 2021. It therefore follows that by failing to take action to proscribe other similarly related ethnic organizations, such as the Fulani Headsmen or Mietiala, or Odua People's Congress, or Niger Delta Avengers, some of which are known to have borne arms and carried out violent attacks, but the federal government did not as much proscribe them or declare them terrorists as it did IPOB. It is our position, and which was confirmed by the court judgment I referenced, that the proscription was highly discriminatory. Now, in summary, the right guaranteed under that section is unarguably and essentially a right to freedom from any discrimination of any sort based on national origin or ethnicity, such as has been levied against the IPOB and its members, perceived or real, by the federal government since October 2017. The declarations made by the court are 3, and the orders issued 2. The court declared our action unconstitutional. It also declared that what IPOB is engaged in, the enterprise, is known as self-determination and that it is not unlawful. And the court, because the action offended its conscience, awarded $8 billion against the federal government for that action. It therefore came as a double whammy that in the next few days following the position of IPOB, the Attorney General of the Federation underscored the constitutionally prohibited finality of the action by gazetting it, and therefore criminalizing millions of Igbos who are perceived to be members of IPOB, whether the perception is real or not. And it also led to interdiction of their properties, money, and otherwise wherever found. It's also led to mass arrests, extrajudicial killings, torture, detentions without trial, and whatnot. Now, in March 2018, the African Union, through its African Commission on Human and People's Rights, which administers human rights adjudications in the continent of Africa, held against the federal government that the proscription was wrong under the African Charter, which bound Nigeria. Nigeria ratified the African Charter in 1983, and from that date it is bound by it. So this African Commission on Human and People's Rights had clear jurisdictions to decide this case, and it decided against the federal government and wrote a strongly worded letter to the then President of Nigeria to retrace his steps and restore IPOB to its former legal status and cease and desist from further arresting or harassing or persecuting members of IPOB. Yet, from the date of issuance of that decision to when the former president left office, nothing was done. Rather, the opposite was done. The persecution, prosecution, arrest, torture, everything became even worse. It is pertinent to mention at this juncture, perhaps as a necessary digression, that had the former president of Nigeria implemented that directive issuing from the African Union, a lot of people who died numbering in hundreds, some say in the thousands, and In fact, including Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's infamous extraordinary rendition from Kenya in 2021, wouldn't have happened. A lot of lives would have been saved and the nation would have been more at peace. And we will not have the insecurity that we are grappling with today in the Southeast. And further to the decision of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, the United Nations, through its special rapporteurs, transmitted a decision in 2020, May precisely 2020, no, in October 2020, condemning the proscription, IPOB, and the terrorist tag placed on it. The quotations of what they said are contained in our press release and they are robust. But the summary of what they are saying is that the action of the federal government was driven by some ethnic considerations against the Igbo, and that the action offended every known canon of international human rights law. Consequently, this organ, which is a very important organ of the United Nations, directed the federal government to do the opposite by deproscribing IPOB. That the action was never taken to get that done, and so here we have it, that for quite some time now, these things have persisted, and here we are with the dramatis personae, this most single factor in this whole saga is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who remains in detention to this day.
All right, umibe honorable Kwangwaneya. Yes, makana afi monoro mu ise adi epuchi aka mmonna. Oh mego. Yes. Go abeg. Make na help me tell all those people who sold this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria government. Even those people wey talk say over their dead body, it go happen for their lifetime. Then go witness am. Somebody should go and help me and tell Malami, the man who be the architect, kidnapper, make person, make the help me tell her say Nnamdi Kanu is coming out. Yes, all those saboteurs, all those sellers, all those criminals that ganged him, that betrayed him, make na help me send this message to them that in their lifetime they will see Nnamdi Kanu come out. All the way big Biafrans who go celebrate across all the whole streets. Yes. Agamango, Biafra. Yes, we are going to rejoice. We are going to rejoice because this is the time. This is the time. God knew it. This is the appropriate time. I know it delayed, but this is the time. We are going to rejoice because God always does his own things in his own way. If they like, let them go and try what they tried last time. If this judge or motor shop release Nnamdi Kanu, let them try what they tried last time. The game that they played from the head of this innocent Justice Ademola, when he released Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they now went back and arrest this man. That why did him release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally? If they try it this time around, it will backfire them. Or if the soldiers, or they send soldiers on the road to wait before Nnamdi Kanu, if they try it, this time is no longer the back then. If they try it this time, that thing, that dragon that they have been waiting, it will let loose. Anything when Nigerian government no say, now it go be the peace, make them just pipe blue, make the court do the needful. Because if they do otherwise, this time around, the whole country called Nigeria, you go catch fire. No be cho, no be joke. And not just they talk and say, yeah, they talk for empty mouth. And they talk with audacity. Let Nigeria allow the court to do the needful and release this innocent man who does nothing, who committed no crime. Only his crime is that he asked for the freedom of his people. That is the only crime he committed. Over years, he had been suffering for injustice. He was kidnapped, he was molested, he denied his rights, and now God is about to do the needful. If Nigeria know what will be good for them, let them allow the court to do the needful. If not, the child you know yesterday is no longer a child you know today. Yes. Nwanne asakọta okwu anya nwanne atụọ ya aka ọfụma. Ihe ọgwụ chọrọ ọgwụ ka ọ wụrụ. Ihe a ọ ga-awụ ya wụrụwa. Onwe ihe ga-eme. Biafra fight is a fight to finish. It's not a fight to stop. Never. Never. On this our time, it can never stop. We can never let any stone unturned until Biafra is full restored, according to what our leader promised us. It's only Biafra left for the prophesied, for all the things that they have prophesied to us. Only Biafra left. And tell me, if man can prophesy all he prophesies all years and it come to fulfilled, then why only this one will be left in behind? It can never happen. It must be fulfilled. The word of God never drop on the ground without a fertile. Never. This is the time. Yes, my people, go and rejoice. Go and rejoice. Celebrate. Nnamdi Kanu is coming out. No twist. Yes. However, they want to sit on that court being tomorrow, 13th of tomorrow. Anyhow, they want to twist it. Victory is ours. No cho. Yes, my people, rejoice. Enough. It's time for we the Biafrans to celebrate. We have suffered a lot of injustice. We have suffered a lot of setback. We have cried a lot. And we say enough is enough. One honorable Beya. Yes, spread this message. Share this video. Let it go viral. Share this message. If you love what we do here, truly on this Global Love Channel TV, because all we do here is just to keep our people updated, to inform our people ahead before our end, because I keep telling you, my people, that we are 1,000 miles ahead before our enemies. That is why we do all we do here. If you love you as just the word me, just the tutorial me, they sweet me like this, just touch your hand for subscribe button. As they touch your hand for subscribe button, just the share and not to so share, not to tell them share. Koga saibeni ne koga wani ne. Makana chikwe megoya. As they share them, just they touch your hand for notification bell, so that anytime we just drop this kind of video, you go first signal you. But then you go just share. Because we go dey follow them back to back. If they want to do their mago, their kangaroo judges, which I know say they cannot do it, because God have said the record straight, and we are here backing it up. My people, never. They cannot do it again. It's a win-win for us. It's a win-win. Rejoice, my web. Rejoice, Biafra, rejoice. Yes, rejoice. Yes. Thank you. I come in peace. See you in my next video.